Hey all, Paul from Drums and Rums. I'm back in the kitchen again, and you're probably wondering why I'm wearing a Santa hat and it's September. Well, we've got something for you today where if you're looking to give out some Christmas gifts to your family members and friends, and you want to be a little crafty and kind of something a little bit different and unique, well, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna make some vanilla extract from different rums that we've got here on the table. So we're gonna go through, I'm gonna show you how to do it. It's very simple. And we're also going to include on how you're going to get all these supplies that you're going to need. And again, it's pretty simple. You just basically cut the beans, pour some rum in, put it in a bottle, shake it up, wait 6 to 8 weeks. So just right in time there, Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it'll be a great Christmas present for you to give to your family members and friends. So sit back and we're going to go through and how to process all this. So you're probably asking, well, why vanilla extract? Well, if you've got somebody in your, friends and family that they like to cook, they like to bake, this is kind of a cool and unique thing. Again, sometimes when you make presents for people, they kind of take a little bit more endearing to them because you actually put some effort into something rather than just giving them a gift card, right? So why vanilla extract? Well, again, vanilla extract is the second most expensive spice behind saffron. Bet you didn't know that. How did vanilla beans get made? Well, glad you asked. Here's how.
Vanilla is the go-to flavour the world over. In recent years, the price of natural vanilla has shot up. At one point, it was more expensive than silver by weight. %80 of the world's vanilla is grown in the perfectly suited climate of the northeast region of Madagascar. It's the country's primary export crop. For the farmers, like Benny O'Don, life's far sweeter when the vanilla price is high.
Ja, ohatran'ny taloha boka ilay vanilla mbola tsy lafo zegny. Pétrole ampiasain'olo amin'ny alina. Ja, igny zegny jio. Fa io kafa niakatra ilay vidina vanilla zegny, mampiasa plaque solaire zegny olo.
In 2014, vanilla was $80 a kilo. 3 years later, it was $600. Today, it's around $500. The price rise is due in part to global demand. The trend of eating naturally means that food companies have shunned synthetic flavouring in favour of the real deal. Benny and the other farmers are cashing in.
Zay olo zegny presque izy zegny efa maro amin'olo zegny navita tragno tsara. Ja, le zaza mba vao mpianatra lavitra ity. Ja, tsara le fiainany, tena tsara.
But things can change very quickly. Price fluctuations affect producers of agricultural commodities everywhere, but vanilla is particularly volatile. In just a few weeks, the price can jump or plummet by over 20%.
Tegna misy aloha satria raha tsy lafo ny lavany zegny, tsisy raha azo atao ambanivolo ety.
Liberalisation is one reason for such movements. The Malagasy government once regulated the vanilla industry and its price. But now the price is negotiated at the point of sale, which makes for a freer market, but a more volatile one. It's also a tiny industry. A single cyclone can knock out the entire crop within Madagascar. It's also a difficult and delicate crop to grow.
Vanilla is an orchid that needs to be hand-pollinated. This is a really, really labor-intensive practice. If anyone has grown an orchid at home, you experience how difficult it is to keep an orchid alive in your house. Now try growing this in the middle of a Malagasy rainforest. It takes roughly 6 months to grow it on the vine, and then 6 months of manual post-harvesting. Now the interesting thing about vanilla is you need to take it off the vine when it's almost rotted.
The growers have to contend with another problem. Thieves are targeting the vanilla crops.
So Malagasy now are sleeping out in their vanilla fields. They can't rely on those who are charged from the state to protect them or protect their crop. They're having to take matters into their own hands, and this has really caused some problems, vigilante justice, and a whole host of other violence connected to vanilla.
Some farmers have resorted to harvesting the beans before they're ripe. But this produces a poorer quality vanilla and ultimately pushes down the price. The combination of deteriorating quality and high prices is having an effect. The vanilla price bubble may burst.
So if the price continues to stay high, there's a number of scenarios that play out. We can continue as we are now and have a relatively unstable market where farmers are growing vanilla under very, very distressful conditions of theft and violence. You could have the state and corporate sectors, theft and violence, try to re-regulate the market in some way that might stabilize prices and also quality. Or you might just have the market crash out.
Big buyers that provide vanilla for the likes of Haagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry's are now working directly with farmers in a bid to gain greater control over quality. Other companies have started to look elsewhere for their natural vanilla. Indonesia, Uganda, and even the Netherlands are growing the crop. For a century, Madagascar has enjoyed a near monopoly on vanilla. But this industry may be in line for a radical overhaul.
So there apparently is a vanilla shortage. So like everything you have in vanilla ice cream, vanilla cookies, or whatever the baking goods and things that vanilla is used for. So again, you know, you can make your own. Something like this from a local grocery store cost about $10 for this one little jar and that one little bean. And then here, also then some pure vanilla extract that also cost about $4 to $5 from your local grocery store too. So again, that's 1 ounce of vanilla extract, where we're gonna make up to 8 ounces of our own and using our own flavors as well too. So again, you can do the math there. You figure because your average standard bottle is about 750 milliliters, or approximately, takes about 1/3 of this bottle to make into this. So you can, depending on your type of rums you want to try to use, or other alcohols as well, you can go through and you make a pretty decent worthwhile cost. And if you balance out all your products and your supplies, that again, it's also fun. It's something that kind of you made as well too. So we're going to go through and all the things that you're going to need for it. So we'll go ahead and talk real quick about what our supplies are that we have here. Okay, so first, what we had is, and you can purchase these things here on Amazon, here is these bottles. There, you see how much filled up. That's almost about 8 ounces I've already poured into one of them. So you get the small bottles because if you get a 16-ounce bottle, that just means you got to use more alcohol. You got to use more beans in it if you want to get the right mix. So right now we got about 8 ounces or so with about 4 beans total, cut in half, and we'll go ahead and we'll talk about that in a second. So you got your bottles you order, and also then what you also will get is your beans. So as you see here, those are our beans. Those are some of them, right? And you go ahead and we'll cut those in half. So you order those. So I think what we did was we ordered in bulk. That's where the cost kind of come down, right? About 50 of these. For $50, you get about 25 beans. And again, we're gonna cut them in half and we'll go through and split them as well. You'll also get a little funnel there, collapsible, kind of flexible funnel to help you pour everything in. As well too is got a couple extra little stopper for your sealing up your bottles, as well as your little labels that you want to put your labels on them, maybe the date on them, or in our case here, we'll label which rum we put in them. So again, all total, you're looking at probably $3 for an 8-ounce bottle, $2, $4 a piece for the beans, and then again, it's sometimes just having fun. If you're looking at it from a whole cost benefit analysis, well, at some point you're gonna have to balance your break even. So again, You know, you maybe it depends on what kind of rums you use too, so, or your alcohols, because you can use other alcohols too. So as you see, what we already done, we made one up already, and this is with some copper bottom, and then we cut our beans, we filled up our, put our in there, and then we'll shake it up, seal the bottle first, shake it up, and then every so often we'll shake and so forth, and again, looked about 6 to 8 weeks from the time you bottle it, and then afterwards, what it will do, it will become, it'll look like that. So this will turn into, after 6 to 8 weeks. Now this is actually we did this one actually some time ago, so it's actually a lot longer than 6 to 8 weeks now what we're doing. You can keep adding more beans in there, you can keep adding more alcohol in there into it. So this actually was, on Drums and Rums, our second most favorite alcohol was made from Chivas. So we had some Chivas around, we gave a little try with some scotch. But on this show today, it's all about the rum. So again, that's what it will look like after you're done. So what we also are gonna have too is our different rums that we're gonna use. So we're gonna try a little different because in 8 weeks, we're gonna see which ones taste the best, which had different flavors, which really interacts with the beans the most. So what we got here is El Dorado. It's a 12-year age rum from Guyana. Next, what we have is Code Rum Key Lime, and this was made here, right here in Palm Beach County, here in West Palm. So that'll be some interesting flavors, mixing the vanilla and the key lime. Next, also we have a Papa's Pilar. It's a sherry cask, and that's made down there in Key West. Next here we have a silver rum from Copper Bottom, which is already what we already started off with. And then our next bottle is Rogue Spirits Hazelnut. It's a spice rum from Oregon. So this is probably gonna produce some really interesting flavor with that vanilla extract. And then lastly, we got Tropic Isle Palms 151 from Puerto Rico. So this is probably gonna be really interesting. Probably be very careful in the kitchen then when you're using it, because it is 151. So be very careful with that one. All right, so what we have is for each bottle that we're gonna fill up, we're gonna have 4 beans from our stack of beans. Well, 1 left. So we'll just go ahead and cut them in half, okay? Okay, so now we've got 8 total. And what we want to do is, again, hold here at the bottom, put the knife in. We don't want to cut it in half and split it all the way. We just want to kind of slice it open like that, okay? So we've got that, it's 1. All right, so make sure if you're the person in the kitchen, make sure you know what utensils you got, what sharp knives you got. If you don't and you're using your spouse's kitchen utensils, make sure you get permission from them, because they get real mad when you mess their stuff up. Just like I'm sure if somebody touches your drums, same thing. All right, so again, we're not splitting them all the way down like splitting a log. We're just cutting them open, just kind of open to expose the insides for the beans, so the alcohol can kind of get in there. Oops, see, like we said, okay. We'll go ahead and make sure we leave that stuff on there. Again, that's the good stuff, man. Like I said, those little flakes. Somebody told me that those were what's in the ice cream. All right. There we go. Last but not least. All right, very good. All right, so there we've split our beans now, so we'll go ahead and drop this into our bottle. Okay, and like I mentioned, you want to make sure you don't lose any of these little pieces. You don't want let any of these flakes disappear. You don't want every little drop that you want in there. So, all right. All right, so after we've split our beans, cut them in half, we put them in the bottle, what we want to do is measure our rum. So I've already done our Copper Bottom already, as you see in here. All right, it's already starting to go through its process. And what we want to do is pour in. It's about 8 ounces. Yeah, I know it may seem like a lot of rum that you're using, but you know what? I think it was also, it was about 8 ounces and a little quarter. So it's a cup and a quarter really. So again, it's all preference how much. Now, what you're gonna use your funnel, because you don't want to make too much of a mess, right? And then what I want to also do is make sure I'm gonna pour this on the blade. So I'm trying to rinse off and pour. Make sure I don't lose any of that vanilla. All right. Very good. Okay. And there we go. Cut. All right. So I did pour a little extra in there, so I did have my own little worth of shot. Don't want to put it away because I did have to pour some of it out and I already had some vanilla in there. So I don't want to pour it back into the bottle, right? So what I want to go ahead and do is just have my shot. So cheers. All right. Want to go ahead and put our cap on there. Seal it up. Also, go ahead and just give it some shakes. So nice and good, because you want to get that alcohol in there in where you've separated and split up your beans, right? So yes, this one will look like actually like our finished product here with our Chevis from last year. But again, it still hasn't gotten all the way through because I can still see through that rum. So that'll be a while. So one of the things I think you want to make sure you also do, since you're going to be trying different rums, if you choose to, you may want to just use the same rums for many different bottles. Just use the same one over and over, which is fine. Again, typically most people use vodka for this, but again, this is not a vodka show. We don't do vodka here, right? But one of the things you want to do between each pour and the bottling and so forth is go ahead and rinse out and clean out your measuring, if you're going to use the same measuring cups and the utensils and so forth, because again, you're going to have different flavors, you're going to kind of dilute. So if you all remember from chemistry class, we've got to go clean our beakers and then reuse them and let them dry because we don't want any cross-contamination. So we'll be right back. I'm going to go over to the sink. I'm going to clean this out, and then we're going to do this for all these different versions here. All right, so maybe before we go ahead and pour our rum in there and try to keep track of which one is in which, because some of them are clear, some of them are a little bit more dark, the spice rums, etc., is you probably want to make sure you don't start losing track of what you put in which, and then now you're not sure what you want, and so to kind of get that result in 8 weeks when you're like, well, this one worked out real well, this one didn't work out as well. Again, so what we're going to do is I think we're going to go ahead and pre-label all of our bottles, just so we don't, again, get too far, start getting ahead of ourselves. Again, you don't want to start getting things mixed up. Again, as I just talked about with cleaning your utensils, you don't want cross-contamination and so on and so forth. So again, we're gonna go ahead and put our labels on here now. I'm probably not the best label person, so probably best not to hire me. So to put these on nice and straight. But again, this is for our home little project here. Maybe if I go in big time in the vanilla extract business, or then maybe I will. But anyway, so like I said, with our little pen there, it's kind of like a dry erase marker kind of per se. What we want to do is, and we just did our El Dorado rum here, so we'll go ahead and put so we've got all of our bottles labeled. Again, we're trying to make sure that we're not mixing things up and forgetting. Again, like me, if you had a little shot there while you're cooking, which is always great, you don't want to drink too much and then get all mixed up, right? So again, we went ahead and labeled some of these here. So I've already got a couple of these are already labeled, and then we'll go and all we just need to do is now measure and pour, and then shake, cap it, and then we're done, right? So again, this first one was the 151, so I'll just move these guys out of the way. 151, this is the Tropical Island Palm, okay? So what we'll do is I'll go ahead and grab my thing, my bottle, all right, open that guy up. Again, this is the one you want to be probably real careful about down the road there when you're making this. As I mentioned, make sure you're either using, different utensils or other strainers or funnels, other measuring apparatuses, because you don't want to start mixing that stuff up as well. Like say cross-contaminating 151 rum with a key lime rum, and then now you've got a blend of it. So we want to try to keep things as kind of clean. Again, just like chemistry class, right? Isn't that what mostly bartending is just like chemistry? So we'll go ahead and measure, like we said. I think we were a little bit on our last one there with a little bit more than 8 ounces, I think, I poured. So we just want to go, again, this is going to be a little strong anyway, so we're just going to have to be really careful, okay? So we got our 8 ounces there, pour 151 in. Okay. All right, so what we finished up here, we've poured all of our rums into our bottles here. We have 6 bottles for 6 different rums that we are going to try and extract the vanilla from. So again, you see already there are different colors because that's what the base product of the rum is. So you've got some clear products, you've got some, obviously darker products with the spice or the sherry cask. Again, we're gonna say, it will turn into something more like this over the, as the weeks and days go over. We will definitely keep a little progress on our, we'll do some updates here on our rum to kind of show you how it transitions. So we'll maybe take a picture every day or every week or so, probably every week, I'm busy. So yeah, we'll take a picture every week of how things look, and then we'll kind of give updates. Again, if you are somebody who's got plentiful rum and don't have a whole lot of Christmas ideas, or maybe a starving musician who's wants to get Christmas gifts, but you got access to alcohol, again, some of our products here, like I said, you can buy from Amazon, and your products for a couple bucks, a bottle. For 8-ounce bottles, $3, and then your beans, right? So if you buy enough in bulk, you can make it worth your while. So again, it's something fun, something to do, getting a little crafty here, drums and rums, and then we'll go ahead and again give these away for people. So again, these are something that you can kind of give to folks and little nice presents. What you also could do is, if you don't want to buy the bottles, maybe if you have a full bottle of one of your favorite 750 milliliter rums, is you just may have to double up on your beans that you want to put in there. So again, this is about an 8-ounce bottle of worth of rum that's in here, in each one. This is approximately, I think it was, we said about 25 ounces or so for 750 milliliter. So again, we put 4 beans in here, split it in half. So if you want to kind of, again, do the math there, you're gonna have to get the beans, but you could also do a full bottle if you want to, and then just seal it, shake it up, and so forth. So again, you don't want to have to. Again, the smaller bottles are great just so you can give them away as little gifts. They're already packaged, instead of trying to take your full bottle of rum, and unless you want to kind of break it down into smaller. I mean, if it's just for you, maybe this works out as best. Just buy the beans and just stick it in your bottle of rum and go for it. So again, it's all about trying something different and then having some little creativity, some holiday fun. So again, we'll be giving these away. So if you're family or friends, I'm not buying you anything. You're getting some from vanilla extract here for me, for Christmas presents. So again, hopefully you all have fun with this, where the backbeats meets the spirits. Cheers.